Welcome back. We're here in Rice's Appliance Kitchen with Chef Craig from Evoke at the Westin. And what are we cooking up today?
Well, today we're going to be making sticky salmon with shiitake fried rice.
Sticky salmon. I've got the salmon right here.
Yep. The first thing we're going to start doing is making the glaze. So if you want to start pouring in these ingredients here in the cups one by one.
Where am I putting here?
Oh, into this pot right here.
Into the pot. What do I have here?
That's soy sauce.
Soy sauce. Ooh, a lot of soy sauce.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Oh my goodness.
that's okay.
Boiling
Go
sauce.
ahead. You want it to be boiling because what we're going to be doing is we're going to add the cornstarch.
And this
a
one
bit
is
of
what?
honey.
Honey. Okay.
Just
Go, honey,
A
go.
little dollop there. That's good.
Okay.
And then you're going to add some brown sugar and some ginger.
Brown sugar. That's about a fourth of a cup, maybe.
Yep.
And maybe a
teaspoon.
Teaspoon.
Teaspoon of ginger.
Okay.
So we're going to mix this all together. We want the sugar to dissolve and we want it to come to a boil.
Oh, okay.
When you add cornstarch to anything, you want the mixture to be boiling. That's why we have the pan so hot.
Oh, I see. I did not know that.
So if it's not boiling, it's not going to thicken properly.
Aha. That could be
So-
my problem over the years.
New every day.
Thanksgiving dinner.
So now that we've added the cornstarch, what we've created is a real sticky glaze. We're just going to let that reduce a little bit. So while that's reducing, what we're going to do is we're going to start searing the fish.
Okay.
So I'm going to take just a little bit of olive oil, and I've got my pan nice and hot. And
What's
you
your
can tell.
approach when cooking salmon?
Well, first thing I want to do is I want to make sure the pan's hot enough, so I look for ripples in the pan, which I have there.
Ripples.
And then, pretty much any fish that I cook, I always put it in presentation side down, so I get a nice crispy crust on the outside.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this pan just like this, and I'm going to put the whole thing in the oven, and I'm going to cook
really?
it from the bottom up.
Oh, wow.
So I get a nice crispy skin on the presentation side, and then the salmon will stay moist and juicy.
Oh, very
So I'm just going to
interesting.
throw that in there.
So that's a nice trick to not. I feel like I always overcook salmon, which nobody likes that.
And I happen to have one already finished.
Oh, look at that.
So-
Oh, it's beautiful. How long did you cook it?
That cooks for about 3 minutes.
3
Okay.
minutes.
And as soon as it comes out of the salmon cooks very quickly.
Yes.
It's a easy fish to overcook, but when it's cooked nice and
Perfect.
quickly, it's very juicy, very moist. And then I just glaze it right when it comes out of the oven with the glaze, and then our salmon's ready to go.
Wow.
Last step for this dish is going to be the fried rice. And fried rice is an easy dish, but it's also a complicated dish.
Yeah.
It's one of those like sushi where you could make something that looks like sushi, but
Doesn't taste like
Yeah.
a real
right.
sushi chef would do it a little different.
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to do is we're going to start with our ingredients. We've got our pan extremely hot. We add our mushrooms, and we're going to stir fry them. You want this all to be done on very high heat. So we've got these going, and you got to stir constantly. I'm using a rubber spatula because I have the Teflon pan. You don't want to scratch up your
That's
Teflon.
always a great reminder.
Yes.
And then I add a little bok choy.
Okay.
And what we do is we try to cut everything in sort of bigger chunks so you have a nice texture.
Bok choy,
and
I love it, and I know that it's very high in nutrients.
it
yeah,
looks
it's
like it, yes.
extremely healthy. The next step, and there's a debate about when to do this, but
Okay.
I'm going to add the eggs right now. And it's just one egg that's been beaten.
Okay.
And I'm just going to put it in there and I'm going to let it set. And then the next step is I'm going to add the rice. And
Okay.
the rice, you want to have it cooked the day before.
Oh, okay.
Why
You
the day
don't want
before?
it, you don't want it fresh out of the rice cooker or out of the pot. You want to give it time to dry out a little
That's
bit.
why mine is sticky.
Yes,
Yes.
see, there you go. So actually, it's a good thing to let it sit out maybe in the fridge and get a little
I
crunchier
make
as you
fried rice
cook
for
it.
me, and
Yeah,
that makes
we,
so much
we
sense.
actually make it the day before or
Great
in the morning.
tip. So of course this whole recipe is online. You can find it online at mysuncoast.com.
Oh,
And
it's
you
also
can
good.
visit Chef Craig at Evoke at the Westin. I know you have a great happy hour.
Yes, absolutely. Sunday through Thursday from 4 to 6:30. We have a small menu of smaller bites. Everything's very healthy.
Great
And then we
reason
also
to
have
visit the
artisan
Westin.
cocktails.
And most people go straight up to the roof, but stop and see Chef Craig. Mary, thank you so much. Great things at the Van
Thank
Wezel.
you.
Sheba, thank you for
Good to
joining
see
us.
you.
You take some time. Enjoy the Suncoast view.
Definitely.